So, on the theme of geoengineering and chemtrails, I mean, the defense that it's a tinfoil hat conspiracy is way over. We've been messing with this stuff for 40 years. And I'm sure you've all seen the videos that people take of the sky right over wherever they happen to be, right? The planes zig and zag, and then it becomes overcast. Well, they being the global elitists, have admitted, this again is not tinfoil, that yeah, they're blocking the sun to cool the earth. Once again, really good thinking, mucking with Mother Nature. Wow. So anyways, I was watching a site. Now, there's an anonymous but organized group of people in the UK and in Europe, and a lot of them are in the aviation industry. There's pilots, there's radar traffic controllers, ground crews. They're compiling information, if you will. Now, the pilots, they know the difference between a chemtrail and a contrail. This one pilot who is off camera, they even changed their voices. Well, I'm sure you can imagine why, right? To remain anonymous. Crucial. They fly through these things. They see them not just from below, but from beside. They try not to fly into them. They'll ask air traffic if they can deviate not to fly through what they recognize as a chemtrail. And of course, they see them from above as well. So they get into talking about a lot of these. Well, now this is interesting. First, let me say, there's plenty of flight apps you can go on your phone, and there's channels who cover this stuff. It'll show a plane come out of, I guess you don't see the dot on the bottom there. But anyways, they'll come out and they'll fly in a pattern like this and then return to their home base. Now, that's not a holding pattern where they're flying around a beacon just beyond the airport waiting to land in order of priority. That's done in a big oval-y thing to conserve fuel. And these pilots, there was more than one of them in this video I was watching, was saying sometimes they even fly in squadrons. You know, maybe 5 planes will go out, leaving 5 chemtrails behind them, and then maybe the other way as well. Now, here's something I was not aware of, and this gets interesting. These people in this video were saying that they're not just spraying one cocktail, but sometimes they'll go up and lay 2 or even 3 in the same area. One formula is sprayed, and then another formula is sprayed, perhaps at a different altitude sometimes. All kinds of fiddlery going on. Sometimes there's a third layer serving as a catalyst to create the other 2 to do, or now 3, or whatever the case may be, right? Because they're tracking this group are starting to track where goes what. Like, why is a freight plane in a commercial airport, and the ground crews with, you know, looking at the documents and filming the barrels and etc. Don't let me forget to mention fuel. And I knocked my own train of thought off. Oh yeah, okay, so I'm sure you've seen by now more than one video of just people, individual citizens going, look, I got this lump of snow in my yard, it doesn't melt. And when I pick it up, I can hold a propane torch on it, it doesn't even melt. It doesn't melt and drip, it doesn't even really do anything. It just, what is this stuff? It's not snow. My hypothesis off of that, because they didn't get into it in the video I was watching, I think they mix those 2 or 3 different cocktail layers up there, and maybe they don't mix as well as they thought, right? All their computer modeling, they still don't understand, or don't have the capability to predict accurately what Mother Nature's going to do. So maybe their big cocktail in the sky didn't get mixed as well as it does in a bunch of those chemicals barium, strontium, all the other bad things that they're mixing around up there just get lumped together and fall down somewhere on some poor guy's kid's swimming pool, or whatever the case may be, right? So in summation, fuel. The naysayers who say, oh, they're not doing any of this stuff, because there's some hypotheses that they put stuff actually in the jet fuel, in the plane's fuel. Then it doesn't show looking like a chemtrail, it shows looking like a contrail. Well, the one pilot was saying, well, no, we've been researching that, and a lot of this stuff, because the naysayers say, no, you couldn't put it in the jet fuel or the jet engine would burn it up. Well, not so. A jet engine, as a rule, 700-800 degrees Fahrenheit, whereas I think even aluminum is above that melting point. The microplastics would, I guess the jet engine would burn those up, but a lot of these metals, as I call them, if it ends in on the periodic table, it's not something you want to be inhaling or ingesting as a rule. So, okay, and in summation, I see a lot of videos about people boiling vinegar in their yard on the theory that this is going to protect them or dissipate or counter what's raining down out of the sky, falling down out of the sky. I can't see that working. You're going to boil a gallon or 5 gallons worth of vinegar. Well, they just seeded the atmosphere for miles around. I don't think boiling vinegar is going to do any good for anybody. And I did have another point, but it's not in my notes, and I threw myself off track with the thought of the vinegar. Oh yeah, yes, this same outfit is compiling data. I mean, it's not one laboratory, and it's not some guy in his backyard or his basement with a chemical set. There's been laboratories all over the world. They clean off cars, they vacuum up the grass, the top of buildings, glaciers. This stuff, these substances, are being found everywhere on the globe. And there's no possible explanation that they could be there from normal atmospheric movements of pollution and whatnot. The amounts, the various substances, there's no way. So if someone's arguing with you that they're not trying to block out the sun as well as cloud seeding, they are trying to do that. And when it goes wrong, as it has in Dubai recently, California, wherever, the politicians get to blame it on change, right? Shouldn't have flooded there. Maybe they caused it. See what I'm... Sorry, gotta coach the terms. Anyways, enough of that subject.